Mr. Dennis Tan.
Question 9, Deputy Speaker, sir. Mr. Deputy Speaker, personal mobility devices, or PMDs, provide convenient transport options for the first and last mile connectivity. PMD sharing services will allow more Singaporeans to use PMDs, as they will not need to own or carry them around. However, it is important that operators provide such services without causing public disamenities. Drawing on the lessons from regulating the bicycle sharing industry, LTA is taking a cautious approach to regulating the nascent PMD sharing industry. Key issues being studied include fire risks and charging issues, as well as the need for third-party liability insurance. When license applications commence next year, operators will be allowed to apply for sandbox licenses for small-scale operations with limited fleet sizes. This will limit the impact of the operations and allow LTA to assess the operator's operations and ability to comply with regulatory requirements before LTA considers granting any full licenses for large-scale operations in the future. The safe use of PMDs is a shared responsibility between users, operators, and the community. LTA is strengthening public education and enforcement for all PMD users. LTA will also be introducing an e-scooter registration regime from January 2019 onwards. Under this regime, all e-scooters, regardless of whether they are owned by private individuals or PMD sharing operators, will have identification stickers prominently pasted on them. This will facilitate enforcement and deter reckless riding. To ensure a smooth transition, LTA will engage the user community and will give a transition period for users to comply.
Mr. Dennis Tan.
I thank the SMS for his comprehensive answers. I have 4 supplementary questions. I think members of the House will agree with me that it's hard enough currently to ensure that all owners of PMDs adhere to the rules for safe use of PMDs and to be considerate to the other footpath users. And earlier this year, I think a lot of us spoke about this issue at the Committee of Supply debate. I believe we are not out of the woods yet. Would it not exacerbate the present situation if we have a new category of users, namely high-risk? High-risk may even take less ownership of the need to ride responsibly and considerately since they are not the owners. My second supplementary question is, how does the Ministry of Transport intend to educate this new group of users, the high-risk? My next supplementary question is, what would be the responsibility of commercial shared PMD service providers in ensuring that their high-risk use their PMDs in a safe and responsible manner? And finally, as the SMS has shared about this sandbox size, a limited sandbox size, could you share with the House what is this sandbox size expected to be at the beginning of this, when this shared service is being introduced? Thank you.
I'd like to thank Mr. Dennis Tan for the supplementary questions. They are more or less related. And yes, we had quite a comprehensive debate many months ago on the issue of bike sharing as well as the use of PMD. With regards to the PMD sharing services regulatory framework, there are several key considerations that LTA will take into when promulgating that in early of 2019. One is that we will take into account recent experiences from licensing the bike sharing operations, i.e. looking into ways to prevent indiscriminate parking and abandonment of shared PMDs. And in addition to that, there are also some issues that are very specific to PMDs, which is issues like fire risk, charging issues, as well as looking into issues like third-party liability insurance. LTA has been making effort to ensure that PMD sharing, or rather PMD use as well as bike sharing, remain safe in the community. We adopt a multi-pronged approach, one of which is public education. We work closely with the various operators to educate users on safe and responsible riding. And LTE also has current broad-based measures to improve active mobility safety. And I think Mr. Dennis Tan also is quite familiar with this, one of which includes the registration of e-scooter, which will be implemented in early 2019. We also have stricter penalties for errant users. We have also lowered the speed limit on footpaths from 15 kilometers per hour to 10 kilometers per hour. And at the same time, we also will be implementing the UL 2272 standard to reduce fire risk of motorized PMDs. And last but not least, of course, will be infrastructural improvement. We'll be building more dedicated cycling paths, as well as widening footpaths at locations where there are high pedestrian and cyclist volume. I think ultimately, PMDs offer a very convenient mode of commuting around Singapore, and it is integral to our transport network and provide us with a car-like alternatives, especially for short-distance trips. And I'd like to urge Singaporeans to be patient because many of these measures has been implemented only very recently, and I believe with time we'll be able to see significant improvements to users' behavior as well as indiscriminate parking. With regards to the sandbox licenses, more announcements will be made when they are ready.